Thank y'all for tuning in to Primitive Organic Garden today. Today is December 9th, and I'm very excited because tonight is going to be our first freeze. We usually have, I shouldn't say usually, back in the day, when I was a youngin', we used to always get a freeze in mid to late November. And for the past few years, we've had years where we haven't gotten a freeze, or years where the freeze comes quite late. Some years we don't get a freeze till late January or February. Having those temperatures get down to 30 Fahrenheit or so is very important to kind of get rid of some of the summer pests that can persist onto our fall and winter vegetables. I've had a lot of problem with caterpillars recently on my brassicas. So today I'm trying to bring in all of my plants that are frost intolerant into my hoop house, except for this Malabar spinach here. This is tied to the fence, so I'm just going to leave it there and it'll probably die. Little kale, Brussels sprout, and chard seedling, they'll be fine. All the strawberries will be fine. A loquat tree will not be happy, but it will be fine. I think all the arugula will be fine. The beans are gonna die. Okra's gonna die. The spearmint will be just peachy. I remember seeing spearmint growing underneath water that had ice in it in Washington State, out on some lakes where I was doing some fishing. I'd see some spearmint plants or just wild mint plants, and they'd be growing underwater, and there'd be ice in the water. With some more arugula, that'll be fine. All the garlic will be fine. The radishes, the kale, all that'll be just peachy. Brussels sprouts will be fine. That basil is gonna die. I'll probably take some cuttings from that today and put them in a glass of water. This tomato is going to die, even though it's in the hugelkultur. I'll probably either try to rip it up and stick it in the hoop house, or maybe just take cuttings and stick them in a glass of water inside. Radishes, Brussels sprout, be just fine. Mustard, ashitaba. The dinosaur tail is going to love this freeze because it's going to kill all the caterpillars that have been trying to eat it. Same with the collards. I found some little caterpillars on the collards yesterday. All these fall and winter vegetables are going to start doing so much better now that we're going to get nighttime lows in the 30s. It's going to be great. We're still going to have daytime temperatures in the 60s, and it's going to be 70s someday, and maybe even an 80-degree day here or there, and we'll get some nice sunshine. But I got to take this basil and this dwarf jalapeno and this tomato plant into the hoop house. Another tomato plant I dug up. Brussels sprouts and collards and dinosaur kale. All that out here is going to be doing good. Let's see what the temperature in the hoop house is now. I've been trying to get it a little bit warmer. Put a couple of candles in here under a clay pot, so we'll see if it's not maybe a couple degrees warmer in here than outside. Smells like roasted peppers. I put some habaneros on top of the little clay pot heater. This basil, I really don't want to lose all this stuff, but I don't really have the option of bringing things into my home because there's ants everywhere. And you know, a lot of these tropical invasive ants, like the Argentines and the fire ants, they generally don't overwinter. But in a hoop house like this that I'm keeping, you know, 40 degrees Fahrenheit most of the time, and at night they can sometimes get in here and they build all their nests in my pots, and so they sort of can overwinter in here. And so I can't bring in any pots into the house just because there's so many ants around here that pretty much every pot's got some type of little ant nest in it, or could potentially. They don't seem to destroy the plants, but every time I water I see ants come running out of all the pots. So I got a pepper plant here, some basil, got some brassica seedlings coming up. I think this is like tarragon. Another basil, my citrus seedlings, pepper plant, purple basil, big citrus seedlings that are almost a year old in the back. More pepper plants, tomato. Let's see what the temperature is. So outside it's 40, and in here it's, wow, it's almost 50. So we've only had this little clay pot heater running for about an hour, and we've managed to get it 10 degrees Fahrenheit above the ambient temperature. That'll do, because tonight's low is supposed to be 30. So if I run this little clay pot heater and it does me a 10-degree differential, I can keep it 40 in here. And you know, the basil and the tomatoes and the peppers, they're not going to be happy at 40, but they're not going to die. So if I can keep it 40 in here when it's 30 outside, I'll be pretty happy about that. I just got too many cool plants in here that I don't want to lose, y'all. This is my first winter really building a hoop house in South Carolina. Usually it's so warm here and I just don't care, and our growing season's so long I don't even bother trying to overwinter frost intolerance. But I got a lot of cool rare plants this year, like the chocolate hob and the Scotch bonnet orange, and I got my citrus trees. That's why I had to build this, the citrus trees. I started all these from seed. Got 3 big ones right there that are about 2 feet tall. And I got some more up here, but I also got some peppers. I'm gonna make some enchiladas with these today, I think. It'd be good for enchiladas. Plus it's probably good to pull the fruits off the night before it's gonna get really, really cold, because, you know, oh, these plants are not doing well. This whole piece just broke off. You know, you want the plant to, you know, still need to fulfill its biological imperative and want to live. So if you pull all the fruits off, you know, the plant is more likely to try to survive after that because it wants to produce more fruits. Yeah, these are some pretty peppers. Make some nice enchiladas with those. I'm also pretty excited about some of these tomatoes I got. There's a lot of tomatoes in here. Look at all these tomatoes. It's December 9th and I got fat tomatoes. Fat tomatoes everywhere. Basil, arugula, pepper, arugula, Malabar spinach, tomato, pepper, basil, citrus, tomato, basil, pepper, tomato, pepper, basil, citrus. There's a little beet plant back there in the corner. Alright, well, hopefully I'll be able to get it a little bit warmer in here. I'd like to get it up to, oh, it's 50 now, with me being in here and me walking around and breathing and moving and this little clay pot running. It's 50 in here. I'll take that. I will take that, y'all. Let's see what else is going on outside. Gotta find room to stick these 2 plants in the hoop house. Right now I just want it to heat up in there a little bit, so I'm trying to load up the extra plastic layer I put over the door. You know, the door's not super perfectly insulated, so I put this extra plastic layer on top of the door. I think my radish patch is going to be really happy after the freeze tonight. I gotta get these tomatoes out of here. Look at all these radishes that have been just producing mainly leaves and not enough root. I mean, there's some radish root, but you know, it's been so hot that they haven't been producing as much root as they're supposed to. They've just been producing a lot of leaves. Ooh, that looks pretty. Wow. Probably not ready yet though. But yeah, I planted some really spicy radishes, some white radishes, some candle of fire radishes. Candle of fire is what I'm most excited about. But yeah, they just haven't really been forming up yet. So the cooler temperatures are really going to help you. So much arugula. I don't know how cold tolerant arugula is. It's probably not as cold tolerant as spinach and stuff. Speaking of spinach, I need to reseed some spinach today. I planted spinach 2 or 3 times this year and it was too hot, but we're finally getting temperatures that are cold enough to plant spinach, so I think the dandelion will be fine. I ought to harvest a bunch of Malabar spinach today because I know the Malabar spinach is going to die. Alright, well, I'm just kind of rambling. I'll let y'all go. I just wanted to give you a quick before the first freeze garden update. Got some strawberries rooting here. You know, I always get really excited when we have our first freeze, and that's tonight, so I just figured I'd make a quick video. And, you know, I'll probably make a video in a couple of days showing the effects and the aftermath of the first freeze of the year. And you know, it might be a good video. All the caterpillars will be dead and all the winter stuff will be looking glorious, but you know, it might be a sad video because it might turn out that my hoop house fails and all the rare plants die, and you know, maybe, I don't know, we'll see. Hopefully the hoop house will be well enough insulated to keep things, you know, at least alive. We'll see. Thank y'all for tuning in to Primitive Organic Garden today. Give y'all a garden update again soon.